Hello and a warm welcome to TBC News. Our top stories tonight. PM stresses transformative power of adult education. PCCB strategizes vows to ensure fair and transparent election. Good evening, I'm Agnes Tuniga. You can also follow us live at our YouTube channel, TBC Online, and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook, and X pages at TBC Online. The Prime Minister, Kassim Majaliwa, has emphasized the need for the Ministry of Education to explore ways to work closely with the Institute of Adult Education to improve adult education program, as the system is an important tool for sustainable development, contributing to an overall improvement of people's lives. He made the call during the ceremony to mark the 50th anniversary of the Institute of Adult Education, emphasizing the importance of creating a supportive environment for individuals seeking education outside the formal system, particularly adults.
Hakikisheni mnaendelea kuongeza wigo wa upatikanaji wa elimu watu wazima.
Ensure that you continue expanding access to adult education, including reaching all groups in the country, especially those in marginalized areas and those facing social and geographical challenges. Continue to strengthen vocational training and job-related studies in institutions that provide such education.
He furthermore instructed the Adult Education Institute, in collaboration with stakeholders, to continue to conduct regular research on adult education to identify emerging challenges and develop innovative solutions that are in line with the real needs of the society.
Make sure to continue conducting regular research on the needs of Tanzanians, what they require in relation to adult education, so that you can identify challenges and gather recommendations that will help in providing solutions. Also engage with those creating various innovations and coordinate that creativity in a way that brings benefits and value both to the innovators themselves and to the public.
Minister of Education, Professor Adolf Mkenda, has stressed that the Adult Education Institute has been implementing major and strategic projects, including the Secondary Education Quality Improvement Project, where it has successfully reintegrated 13,272 girls into the education system over a 5-year period. The Director General of Tanzania's Prevention and Combating of Corruption Bureau, PCCB, Crispin Chalamila, has instructed the institution's legal officers to closely conduct thorough and effective investigations on any corruption case and take firm action against election candidates found engaging in bribery during this election period. Here are more details.
Chalamila issued the directive in Kibaha, Pwani region, while opening a 2-day training for the institution's legal officers held at Mwalimu Julius Nyerere Leadership School. He insists that the institution has a major role in ensuring that elections are held fairly and transparently.
We need to closely monitor the elections so that we can get clean stakeholders who can help us in the fight against and prevention of corruption. We must ensure that we don't elect unfit individuals. We rely on stakeholders to inform us about the acts of corruption happening in the communities and workplaces so that we can have good and clean leaders.
He also urged the lawyers to work with high integrity and to ensure that every case brought to court is thoroughly investigated. On the other hand, some participants of the capacity building training say the training has helped them to gain new skills, especially in collecting information and evidence electronically, which will simplify their work. As PCCB, which is the Prevention and Combating of Corruption Bureau, we have the responsibility to monitor all development projects even before they're implemented. This is very crucial. The 2-day training, which has been attended by 307 lawyers, aims to enhance the legal officers' professionalism and working ethics all over the country.
Tanzania's long-standing reputation as a peaceful nation continues to grow not just within its borders, but across the African continent. From the liberation movements of the 1960s to current peace efforts in Burundi, South Sudan, and the Great Lakes region, Tanzania has played a quiet but crucial role in conflict mediation. Teddy Mparanyanga has more in this special report.
It's not going to be easy to prevent people who have lost members of their families to want revenge. This cannot be prevented. And so some revenge killings here and there might take place, but the government itself is going to work extremely hard to reconcile the people.
It began with the vision of Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, Tanzania's founding father and a champion of African unity. During the liberation era, Tanzania opened its arms to freedom fighters from Zimbabwe, South Africa, Mozambique, and beyond.
And Mwalimu said, we will light a candle and put it on top of Mount Kilimanjaro that will shine within and beyond our borders to give light or to give love where there is hatred, and also to give peace and to give dignity where there is only humiliation. So this was a prophetic statement which became a reality once Mwalimu became the chairman of the Liberation Committee. So all other revolutionaries and Pan-Africanists started to come to Tanzania to seek for support.
That legacy lived on in Arusha, the city that hosted the 1993 Arusha Accords, aiming at ending Rwanda's civil war. Although the genocide followed, the Accords set a precedent. Tanzania as a neutral ground for negotiation. In more recent years, Tanzania played a key role in mediating Burundi's post-election crisis, with former President Benjamin Mkapa leading the East African Community Dialogue process. Under President Samia Suluhu Hassan, Tanzania's diplomatic approach remains consistent, quiet, respectful, and trusted. From efforts in the DRC and South Sudan to regional talks in East Africa, Tanzania is often chosen as a host or facilitator.
When Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere was alive, until when he passed on in 1999, the struggle continued from Benjamin William Mkapa and 2000, and then the Rwanda talks about the genocide, after the genocide, they were happening in Arusha. And the reason why Tanzania has become the champion of peace talks and negotiation, because of our policy. We have what we call non-aligned foreign policies. We have not identified ourselves with a certain group. So the non-aligned movement, it gives us an opportunity to interact with people freely, but also the geographic location. We are at the center of East Africa, and we are surrounded with these conflict-prone regions like Rwanda, Burundi, and DRC. So it has given us an opportunity together with Mozambique. So we are in a strategic place, and we are surrounded by our neighbors who are still facing these conflicts. So the geographical location also favors us. And also another thing, I think the values that we stand upon, the Pan-Africanism spirit.
Tanzania's commitment is not just political, it is humanitarian. The country has hosted refugees from Rwanda, Burundi, and Congo for decades, reinforcing its role as a safe haven. From Nyerere's Pan-African vision to modern-day diplomacy, Tanzania's role as a peace mediator remains as relevant as ever, not with weapons, but with wisdom and patience. Teddy Mparanyanga, TBC News, Dar es Salaam.
The Mbeya Regional Commissioner Beno Malisa says Tanzania Social Action Fund TASAF has succeeded a great deal to alleviate poverty in the region by empowering poor and vulnerable households and increase their incomes and consumption to achieve sustainable social and economic development. He made the remarks during a site visit to the TASAF beneficiaries of Tembela and Iziwa wards in the Mbeya region. Our reporter Irene Mwakalinga has more details.
The delegation from TASAF headquarters in Dar es Salaam, accompanied by the Swiss embassy officials to the Mbeya region. The Mbeya Regional Commissioner Beno Malisa says he has witnessed dramatic changes in the lives of the TASAF beneficiaries who have been supported by the fund through the third phase of the program.
That should be the starting point before embarking on more education and awareness. And why this program, and why it has a limit, and the role of the community towards make sure it's sustainable to sustain their livelihood. Have you seen the record? Over 98% their kids are now in school. They now can access healthcare. So we need to make sure these things are sustainable.
The director of Tanzania's Social Action Fund, Shadrack Mzirai, says that so far, many TASAF beneficiaries have been qualified by having their own capital, and now they help others to grow economically.
Just as a witness to that small amount that most of the people have been arguing that is too small to transform their lives, what is it has actually done? And to tell you an example of this Mbeya City Council, we have been informed, and we got some witness from some of the students, some of the children of these poor families. They started way back 2015. Some of them were in Form 1, but we have about more than 60 students here in Mbeya City. They're in higher learning institution. And all of this through the assistance of TASAF.
Clara Minja is the program officer from the Swiss embassy, elaborates the strategies set for the program for the next phase, and admits that the embassy is impressed by the implementation of the program.
So the ability of poor households to afford more and better food, so also improving the nutritional profile of what they actually consume. You also see that there have been improvements in savings and also investments in productive livelihoods. So basically people are able to save more money and also able to invest a little bit more money in activities that will render additional income to their households. I think also as a community, it has had a nice impact on the communities. You see them coming together. You see that the connection between local government and communities is strengthened because you're constantly making them interact. So it's not just the beneficiaries, but also having a sort of a broader effect and some spillover effects into the community and bringing overall well-being into the communities.
Irene Mwakalinga, TBC, Mbeya.
Tanzania has long been recognized as a beacon of peace and stability. Its unity is deeply rooted in intermarriages across tribes, the unifying language of Kiswahili, and the guiding principles of Mwalimu Julius Nyerere's Ujamaa philosophy. With a secular state and a strong tradition of religious coexistence, Tanzania's unique social fabric continues to preserve harmony, making it a hub of peace in Africa. Faith Ngaga takes us through the story of peace and stability in Tanzania.
In Africa's great story, a story of resilience, struggle, and hope, one nation shines with a quiet distinction. A country that has not made its mark through conquest or conflict, but through something more profound: peace. This is Tanzania, a land of over 120 tribes, countless traditions, and yet one heartbeat.
Why Tanzania continues to be a haven of peace, there are so many reasons. But basically, there are four major elements. Number one, it is the values that Tanzanian children are instilled as kids. For example, the national anthem, which has lyrics which says Hekima, Umoja na Amani, which translates into wisdom, peace and unity. But also, as you can see, my national flag regalia, where we have vegetation, minerals, the black, which is for the people, and the blue for the water frontier. Normally, they instill patriotism as people grow into the society and become different professionals. But secondly is the secular state of our country. As enshrined in Article 19 of our Constitution, our country gives the citizens freedom of religion and, of course, freedom of worship.
When the Union of Tanganyika and Zanzibar was born in 1964, many doubted it could last. Different histories, different cultures, even different political systems. But Tanzania chose unity where others saw differences. Its people saw an opportunity to build something new, a nation not defined by division, but by harmony.
And in this country, we're a country with Muslims, country with Christians, and of course those who don't believe at all in these major two religions. But it continues to be a tapestry which continues to build us as a unified country.
This harmony is most powerfully expressed through language, Kiswahili. It is not the tongue of one tribe, nor the privilege of one region. It is the language of the nation. In markets, in schools, in parliament, and in everyday life, Kiswahili unites Tanzanians under one voice. While elsewhere in Africa, colonial languages dominate, here Kiswahili reigns. It bridges generations, turning diversity into belonging and making Tanzania feel like one vast, extended family. Beyond a religion and tribe, Tanzania's peace is also a gift it has extended to others. During the struggles against colonialism and apartheid, it opened its borders to liberation movements from Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Namibia, and South Africa. Dar es Salaam became a capital of freedom, where fighters found safety and movements found solidarity.
There are some other factors which are regional and the others are, let's say, continental, with the Pan-African kind of thinking and the Pan-African kind of views. Tanzania remained to be a source of fighting for others, being there for others. The philosophy of Ubuntu, the Tanzanians know it very well and know it very better.
Today, as the world looks at Africa with both admiration and concern, Tanzania stands as a reminder that peace is not an accident. It is cultivated. It is built on choices made daily by ordinary people to greet each other in Kiswahili, to marry across tribes, to respect one another's faith, and to carry forward the dream of Ujamaa. Faida Ngaga, TBC News.
Tanzania and Iran are set to deepen cultural diplomacy ties through animation, where the sector is increasingly becoming growing potential in boosting economic growth, create jobs, foster creativity and innovation. Speaking to TBC News, the director of Iran Culture Center in Tanzania, Dr. Mohsin Maarefi, says Tanzania stands a better chance to thrive and leverage on the sector due to its rich culture and cordial diplomacy approach. Emmanuel Samuel has more details.
The Iran Cultural Center director, Dr. Mohsin Maarefi, welcomes key stakeholders to explore ways to deepen Tanzania and Iran ties through the animation sector. He says the sector is increasingly becoming a key drive in economic growth endeavors.
Animation industry, it is something very, developing. And also in Tanzania, we have a lot of good storytelling rooted in African rich culture. So animators, they can use this kind of storytelling and to make good animations. And also in Iran, especially in these recent 2 decades, we achieved a lot in animation industry with collaboration of a lot of other countries.
He says Tanzania has a great perspectives to grow the sector which will have a positive impact on its other key sectors like education and tourism sector.
You know, animation, it is not just for kids. Even the adult, they can benefit from the animations. And also animation, it is not just for entertainment. Even sometimes you can use animations for education, for educational purpose.
How do local animators and the other stakeholders view their sector's potentials in Tanzania?
So I feel like the biggest challenge is resources, because it's like a really good long-term investment Tanzania could take. We could invest into the skills. For instance, at the moment, we talked about how only 2 institutions are teaching animation-related courses in Tanzania at the moment, so there is like quite a big gap.
On the bright side, I am making a living out of animation, so it's a profession that is quite advisable to somebody else who's like willing to learn animation.
By using animations, we can send messages to educate the public on the importance of them to engage for voting for the leaders.
Animation industry for so many years has been taken for granted in Tanzania, but now things are about to change as the sector is set to be one of the most lucrative professions and the country's potential game changer to various sectors, including education, tourism, entertainment, healthcare, marketing, to mention few. Emmanuel Samuel, TBC News.
Relations between the DRC and Rwanda have been characterized by events recurring since the 1994 genocide. In 2023, a report by the United Nations group of experts revealed that nearly 1.5 million people had been displaced due to violence in eastern DRC, exacerbating the humanitarian crisis. Here are more details with Kanki Mwaigomole.
Diplomatic efforts to restore calm between DRC and Rwanda are crucial not only for regional stability, but also for the well-being of the millions affected by the conflict. The East African community emphasizes the need to support Rwanda's path to healing and to combat the ideology of genocide, recognizing the potential for similar events to occur within the region if not actively prevented. Meanwhile, regional diplomacy for Rwanda resolution involves various approaches with mixed outcomes and significant challenges, which include fostering dialogue, implementing peace agreements, and promoting economic cooperation, while outcomes range from reduced tensions and improved security to continued instability and unmet commitments. Major challenges include mistrust between nations, weak institutions, and external interference. However, Tanzania has long been a beacon of stability and a force for peace in the Great Lakes region, which, despite its vast potential, continues to be plagued by recurring conflicts in parts of its territory. As the European Union is deepening its commitment with the Great Lakes region, Tanzania plays an important role as a key partner in the quest for a sustainable peace. The most recent is the 2013 Peace, Security and Cooperation Framework, also called the Addis Ababa Framework Agreement, which outlined the various parties' commitments, including ending support for foreign armed groups, and relied on the UN, African Union, SADC, and International Conference on the Great Lakes region as guarantors. Africa needs to have leaders who have the interest of their countries and the heart and realize the unity of Africa is peace. Kanki Mwaigomole, TBC News.
A final communique was released to seal the 45th Heads of State and Government Summit, where key commitments signed included activating a development fund and creating a maritime corridor to boost regional trade and resilience. Here are more details by Abdel Baulaki.
In its final communique, the SADC summit in Madagascar first congratulated several member countries, including Mauritius, for holding peaceful polls. The leaders commanded Dr. Naveen Ramgoolam for his election and his commitment to the regional bloc. Mauritius is particularly concerned by certain key decisions, including the activation of the SADC Regional Development Fund to step up economic resilience and support sustainable development. The organization also pledged to stimulating industrial growth, modernizing the agricultural sector, and boosting renewable energy in its member states. Political leaders also tasked the Secretariat with expediting the mapping out of a roadmap to stimulate north-south investment. The forging of maritime corridors to facilitate regional trade is also a priority. Another notable decision, SADC is tightening its protocol on finance and investment to better combat money laundering. The new SADC leadership intends to toughen regional cooperation.
Les échanges ont été riches.
Rich exchanges and various sound contributions drove to the validation of major decisions for the region's future, for our people, and for the gearing up of cooperation.
The summit also urged member states to forward the full and effective participation of women in political and decision-making processes. The fight against gender-based violence will be reinforced with an emphasis on data collection, surveys and greater financial support to combat the scourge. Finally, the leaders committed to taking action against transboundary animal diseases. The implementation of these various engagements will be weighed up at the next SADC summit of heads of state and government, scheduled for next year in South Africa.
In case you missed any of our stories, remember you can always go to our YouTube channel at TBC Online and watch anytime, anywhere. Before concluding the local news, let's have a look at our today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Don't miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Sports News is up next. In sports news, Simba Sports Club Information and Communications Manager Ahmed Ali says his club plans to enhance the Simba Day Festival, making it the club's traditional heritage, insisting on the pride that the day continues to give to the club. Ali adds that this year's Simba Day will surpass previous standards and Simba fans should prepare for a grand celebration. The Simba Day Week will be launched on August 30th in Iringa and will feature various community events. And that is sports news. And now, before we conclude the news bulletin for tonight, let's take a look at our weather update for the next 24 hours.
Hello viewers, this is Amina Saleh from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. Welcome to 24 weather forecasting starting from tonight. Coolest conditions are expected over the western side of the country, and the minimum temperature is expected to be 7 over Mbeya. For tomorrow, the wind is expected to flow at the speed of 30 km per hour for the northern coast, and is expected to flow at the speed of 20 km per hour for the southern coast. The state of the sea is expected to be slight to moderate. Over the lakes, the wind is expected to flow at the speed of 20 km per hour, and the state of the lakes are expected to be slight. Over the Lake Victoria Basin are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, thunder showers over a few areas, and sun periods. And the rest part of the country are expected to feature partly cloudy conditions. Now let's have a look on 4 days weather forecasting. Dar es Salaam, maximum temperature is expected to be 29. Dodoma, dry condition with the minimum temperature of 14 is expected. Mbeya, dry condition with the minimum temperature of 9 are expected. Mwanza, mainly dry condition is expected. Kilimanjaro, dry condition with the maximum temperature of 28 are expected. Morogoro, dry condition with the maximum temperature of 28 are expected. Arusha, minimum temperature of 12 are expected. From Tanzania Meteorological Authority, thanks for watching.
Well, dear viewers, that is all what we have for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I'm Agnes Tuniga. Thank you very much for watching. Good night.